Whoa, am I out of focus here? What's going on? Sharpen up. Sharpen up. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Give me just a second. Let me tighten the screws here. I'm flying semi-solo here today. All right. Phillips head for that. Little hex screw. All right, so we're good. We're looking good. I think we're looking good. Everything looking good. Andrew Pace, what's up? Coming in and checking in on the gaming episode. I just recently, meaning 3.5 minutes ago, finally posted the link to this in our WMD Gamer Facebook page. So let's see if any of the old schoolers pop their heads in here to say hello. But what is going on, folks? What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Coming and hanging out. Thanks for coming and chilling. There's a few of us coming and hanging out. You know, here I might have done a disservice when we might have when I thought about what are we going to do the next episode on, because we have a big list and we choose from these great topics we came up with. John Burke from Lubbock, Texas. What's going on? Thanks for coming and chiming in. We appreciate that. Been to Lubbock. Been to a lot of places in Texas, actually. Thanks for coming and hanging out. I said to myself, well, we got to do an episode about gaming. And the person that I was speaking with has been gaming for a long time, and they were adamant about it. And I was like, well, we need to call it the gaming episode. And as soon as I started rolling with it, getting the picture together, whatever I needed to do, I knew for a fact I was going to alienate a very huge portion of our audience right now. So, I mean, unless there's some women out there and some non-gamers who really want to figure out what I have to say about it and what this next particular person has to say about it, maybe. I don't know. But you might notice that I'm here alone right now, and that is because our friend Kenman is not here. I think he's gone. I think he's out of the country. I have no idea. I see pictures of him posting somewhere else. So he's gone. But I think he's on vacation, if I'm being honest. I'm just being a dumbass about this. Victor Jocelyn Martinez used to live in Lubbock. Now you live in Albuquerque. What's up? Good to see you. So, yeah, Ken Man's going to be gone for this week. So I decided we are going to roll with this particular subject for the hell of it. Ken Man doesn't really have a lot of information about this anyway. So he probably was happy to hear us pull this out of the hat and know that he would be gone because he didn't have to talk about it. So having said that, we decided we wanted to roll with the gaming episode. And, you know, it's pretty vague. It's a pretty big blanket that we threw over everybody, but it's about gaming. And that's exactly what we want to talk about. And I don't know if you noticed last week either. Do you remember our friend Hash Brown, the guy who called in to the TCSP burner phone line and actually won the contest to be our third leg for the rest of the season? Well, he wound up popping up on camera with a big ass mistake between production and him and all this other stuff. So anybody who might have known who he was, including myself and Ken Man, who we found out we actually wound up knowing him, we figure out exactly who the guy was, because if you remember, it was just off camera. It was just a hash brown. A picture of a hash brown is who I'm talking about. Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, I decided, what the hell, let's roll with this. Do you know what I mean? Let's keep going and let's do an episode about gaming, because myself and Hash Brown know a hell of a lot about it. So without further ado, let's get the gaming episode rolling, right? That was worth every bit of the $7.99 I paid for that. The $7.99 for that brand new intro. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Hash Brown to the show. What is up, Hash Brown? How you doing, dude?
Doing good, man. Good evening. I appreciate it. Hey, when you started talking about gaming, I thought we were talking about something else. I thought we were talking about hunting with like deer. Oh, we're talking about video games.
Yeah, there's some pretty cool hunting simulators, though. I've never gotten my hands around any of that shit, but you know damn well you can go deer hunting And probably within a game that has nothing to do with deer hunting, like GTA 5. Probably, I bet you. I think you can hunt deer in that shit. So I mean, right?
I know you can hunt people. That's for sure.
If you can do people, you can get people.
You can get a deer in there.
You can get deer for sure, man. So what's up, dude? How's it going, man?
Oh man, great night, man. Just had a good evening. Looking forward to talking about this topic. I know I miss Ken, man. He's a great guy. Listen, I didn't want to be on stage. I didn't want to be a persona. I don't want this to get over in my head. I don't want to wait, where'd you go? Hey,
I'm here. Don't worry about it.
Don't be scared. I can't do this alone, buddy. So anyway, I didn't even want to be on camera. And then when the producer had the camera on and I wasn't ready, I didn't have the thing blacked out. Oopsie daisy. I was embarrassed. I didn't want to be a part of it. But you know what? Now I'm here, and I don't want to. I'm here, and I'm happy to do it. Honestly, I love the show. I think you guys are interesting. And I always felt like, I'm not any genius or anything, but I want to talk shit with you guys. That's all.
I'm no angel. That's for my wife. Uh-huh. Yeah, man, you're right. You know what, man? It was a matter of saying, God damn it, this we know this guy. We know Hash Brown, and this is the Hash Brown. How the hell did we not put it together? So we laughed a lot about it. We got a little angry, and then we said, the hell with it. We already signed the contract in blood, so you are the third leg for the Casually Serious podcast for the rest of the remainder of the season at the very minimum. So, yes, we are, in fact, stuck with it, but that doesn't necessarily matter. We're having a good time regardless, man. You ready to roll?
Let's roll, man. Let's do it.
All right. Yeah, I think we should go with it. Let's go with it.
Let's
roll with the Casually Serious podcast. I think it's episode 6, right? The gaming episode. Nice. See? So here we go. I wanted to do sort of a narrowed down version of that theme. Yeah. Dr. Brian is wailing in the background, killing that whole entire song. He made it all up. We wanted to make sure that we threw a couple pictures of me and Jay.
Yes.
And Ken and Jay in there. Rest in peace, Jay Bowdnell. We love you. So that's a short and sweet, very good job, production team. I think everybody's gotten this going on. We're rolling right now. So gaming, the gaming episode. Let's see if anybody else is checking in right now. Isaac Miles Sr. Hey, Smokey Bob. What's up, man? How's it going?
Bob.
Good to see you.
That sounds like a gamer tag.
Yeah. What's funny is that my gamer tag actually has my Cannabis Cowboy logo on it. So anybody who has, if you I added you yesterday before we played some Rocket League.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, before if you look at my logo, you'll see the Mr. Chrome. That's correct, dude.
What up, Chrome?
So listen, I need and I'm going to throw this out
another gamer tag for sure.
real quick. Andrew Pace is. I don't know. He may be one of the first people I ever met online.
Well, there you go.
So this guy is one of my oldest fucking friends. And again, we were talking about this. We're like,
and also therapist, probably.
We need. We probably Merkel. His name is Merc, Mercenary for Hire. Merc will tell you we've probably been each other's therapists at one point in life. He's definitely been ours. I know we might have helped him out a few times. Cal has definitely been there for him. But listen, Andrew Pace and I go back so far back.
Cal? Your friend Cal. Oh, your friend Cal.
Yeah, who we played with.
I thought you were just talking about a cow, and I was like, oh,
no, Fat Cow Enterprises. Cal, yeah, that's our boy, man.
He was a nice guy. I met him.
Yeah, Cal's a good guy, but Andrew Pace, he's one of the first guys I ever met, man. And I was telling you yesterday, the first multiplayer first-person shooter, the first first-person shooter I ever played was Medal of Honor. So Medal of Honor made me want to go look up and try and find another game that I just happen to have right here, because I've been known to never throw anything out.
I'll tell you what, man, my first person shooter was GoldenEye, but that wasn't online. That was all in one room, split screen, 2 to 4. And that was always fun. Oh, look at that, dude. Classic. That is classic.
Call of Duty 2, big red one.
Oh my God.
All right, so I want to point out, by the way, this is the Xbox version. This isn't the one that I played, but I have the game because I still want to be able to go and I want to be able to relive and play the game. Because
you have a device that runs it?
What's that?
You have a device that runs it?
I do have a device at wrist. I do.
Okay, cool.
Right here.
Oh, all right. Okay.
I've got a 360 right there. I've got a few things back here. If you guys want to see, I can't move the camera around, but I've got a
Oh, 64.
an N64 rolling
Yeah.
back here on display. I've got a sweet little PS1
Oh
mini.
my God! Look at that little thing.
I have got a PlayStation 2 that is splatter painted in Dallas Cowboys colors.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
That's all right. Don't worry about that. I've got that, and I've got also an Xbox One over here. You guys have already seen an X-Bone, so yes,
Yeah.
I do in fact have that. But so besides that game,
I should have brought a whole table of things. I didn't. I have them over there, but I don't want to get out of camera. I got a whole bunch of stuff I can show too, Mister.
well, you don't have. Listen, I told you, you don't have to be prepared for this shit. I do.
Okay,
that's the way I roll.
Touche,
so
touche,
I want, and I want to have to tell a quick story real quick. So here's the deal. I met Mercenary Merc, aka Andrew Pace, 2000. Let's call it 2004, man. Maybe.
Okay.
Let's call it that. 2004, 2005. I met him then, and we were in a clan back then, which on PlayStation 2, which is basically just means you have a memory card stuck in there, and you can put whatever you want your name to be. If you have a different memory card, when you load up that game, you can have a different name, and you're a different fucking person. People like me who have split personalities, it's perfect. Just joking. At any rate, we actually wound up playing for the same clan, and started realizing after it was dissolving, the leader was screwing up, that I needed to be a leader. They all basically said, you need to start this clan. So I started a clan called WMD, which stood for War's Most Decorated. We are War's Most Decorated clan. So we started battling under WMD, and we played for years on the.
Did you ever do any MLG games? Like, did you
well,
ever
see,
get
I was
on
just
that?
about to say that before MLG Games even bought Game Battles. We were on Game Battles.
Game Battles, man.
We reached the.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking
man.
about?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, man.
So we were playing. We were playing Call of Duty 2 Big Red One on the Game Battles ladders, and getting as high as 14th in the entire world. We were organized. We were big. We had guys. I mean, and so I can go really, really deep into what I would call Hell Week, where I would have my sergeants, and I had a ranking system that I stuck to. Merc was usually always in the captain area, moved up to general. He would sometimes lead practices. We were fucking serious about this. For as much as we practiced, you would think that we would be the greatest clan in the world, and we fucking weren't, because we straight up just refused. We didn't want to cheat. That's the thing.
That's the truth.
So anyway, we decided to move on.
The mods were real.
We're moving on, and well, back then it was called modem glitching. So what you do is you would pause the game, and you would turn your modem off, and then unpause the game, and then plug it back in, and then you could warp and do all kinds of stupid shit. But this was right around the time where everybody was moving from PlayStation 2 to either PS3 or Xbox 360, and I couldn't buy that 360, man. Like, I was running this clan. I didn't really have a job. That shows you how I could run a clan for 24 hours a fucking day.
Yeah.
But at any rate, Andrew Pace and a bunch of other people in my clan all Western Union me enough money, which I think was about $500, in order to buy an Xbox 360 so that we could start competing on Call of Duty 3. And I have this here.
That's PlayStation though, buddy.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Is I actually bought it, but none of my friends were on it because everybody moved to the next generation version of it. So that went to, actually, I think maybe Call of Duty 2. No, this was Call of Duty 3. So it was COD 3, and that's when you have the sidecar, right? You drove around the grass in the sidecar, I think, something like that. So I was able to keep the clan going on Xbox 360 and then Xbox One and all this.
So a transition, that's a pretty impressive transition.
Yeah, they all bought my system for me, man. What was your introduction to first person shooters?
Well, first person shooter, I came in at like I said, GoldenEye, but that was if we were going to talk about that was local. If we're going to talk about online, it was pretty much Ghost Recon and then Halo, and then Halo was the one I really was a big fan of. And then I went to Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare. So it was really Halo and Call of Duty Modern Warfare. And I'm talking about Halo 2. Those two games are the ones I played on Battle what's the name of the website again?
Game Battles.
Game Battles, and also MLG. I played that and I did that. Hey, listen, I think I saw that comment. I was hoping that you didn't bring it up. Who cares? NWMD is awesome. Absolutely. I played with you guys a long time ago. But yeah, those I played on Easy Company, and I used to hang out with a lot of the goons and DOG, Dogs of something, Dogs of Gaming, I think it was. And I played with the dogs, and that was kind of where I was at. I hung out with them, and I hung out with a little bit of the KSI people. And it was fun back in those days, man. And hanging around, trying to compete and talk jazz. And just gaming has changed so much that the way you even talk in game chat before you could, like, when you shot somebody, you could like teabag them, and then you would hear them cry. You're like, oh my God, I can't believe that. And then their mic goes off. That used to be classic, and that doesn't happen anymore.
Right.
But yeah, those are my first experiences of it. And just being able to do that and getting those people so upset was what drove me. I'm like, all right, I got him pissed off. Yeah, we go piss off some other people. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, going out there just defiling their, making them rethink their gaming experiences. Like, maybe they should relax and maybe pick up another game. But I like, I've had my ass handed to me too, though, and that just makes me want to play harder.
Right. Yeah, and it's funny. It's because shout out to SKS, to the guys in and I honestly I forget what the actual acronym stood for. I believe at one point it was Snobby Kids Society, but these guys were all grown fucking men back then, dude. So I don't for some reason I don't know, but we're talking about the old school guys, obviously SKS Wicked, and just NWO Ben Word. A lot of these guys, NWO, were these guys where we were battling with, man. And I used to play with them back in the day when I used to split between teams when you could, it was just a lot of fun. But back then, what we did was we kept our reputation amongst each other. So it was such a small community group of people. Yeah, the community was fucking nothing, dude, compared to what it is now. So where you could have we would have a Moonfruit website. Every clan I knew had a Moonfruit website. So you would go to warsmostdecorated.moonfruit.com and you'd be able to see our shit. And I still have screenshots from all of that stuff because I built all of it. But you went there and there would be the list. Everybody would have like a special web page that had all their fellow clan battle. Whether they beat your ass all the time or not didn't matter. If you were honorable, you would be on like a top 10 list with them. And it was we always strived to be there. WMD, if for nothing else, dude, we were never the guys you hated. We always put on a fair fucking fight. We never cheated. We never modem glitched. If we found out anybody did that shit, you were fired. We were very good at policing that. But that stuff, I'd like to think that my clan and the guys that started all of this, yes, as Andrew Pace points out, USMC and 502, thank you very much. We kind of shaped the way I think future gamers started tailoring their game. When they started tailoring their games for clans, we had already come up with games like Stockholm Syndrome, where we would play a mini game on a map, and if someone was captured, then they had to do what we said, and we came up with so many mini games as a clan, it was insane. Man. And then they started popping up inside Call of Duty games, and we were like, this is fucking crazy, dude. Like Zombie, we started playing that shit well before Zombie was a thing, and I don't mean hunting Nazi zombies. I mean like when you Infected. I think is what they call it.
It was called Infected on Halo. I remember that.
Yeah, there you go. Absolutely. There you go. So we were doing shit like that well before all that stuff, man. Burroughs Harriet. Hey. It's a good one. I like that one. But anyway, man, we decided we've already talked for 20 minutes right now. We haven't even talked about shit. But multiplayer gaming, man, it's something that blew my mind. And I had, and I'm 40. I'll be 49 this year. So I had the very first, and I still have it at my house in my garage in Miami, the very first Pong Odyssey system. And I had almost every system between that. So I know for a fact from there, I had a ColecoVision, an Intellivision. I had a Sega Master System. I had a Nintendo Entertainment System. I had a Sega Genesis for sure. And maybe Super a Sega Nintendo? Saturn. Sega Saturn? So I went directly from Nintendo to Sega. So I got real bothered with Super Mario Brothers, the kid games, shit like that. I wanted to play some more edgy shit. So when Genesis came around, I really embraced that shit, man. I fell headfirst into all that, and that's why I started hardcore gaming, if you will.
Oh man, I remember how the way they promoted and they got everybody into Sega was trying to make it look like it's for the older kids. So that's why everybody wanted it, because then the little kids were like, hey, I don't want a Nintendo. I don't want anything to do with Nintendo. That's for little kids. I want that edgy stuff. I want the blood on Mortal Kombat, you know? They didn't have it on Super Nintendo. They had
By the way, folks,
they had to put a cheat code on it.
For anybody who doesn't know, myself and Hashbrand are going to go over our top 5 all-time favorite video games here in a little bit, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, man, I had noticed jumping from almost over the course of a year, just that small community on PlayStation 2, Xbox 360, which we're talking 2005. Let's call this 2005, just to be fair.
Yep.
That's fucking, it's a while ago, dude. Within that 1 year, it doubled the amount of, because I remember saying to myself, and actually, if I remember correctly, Call of Duty 3 for Xbox 3 or for PlayStation 3 at first, and that means for like the first 2-3 weeks, maybe a month, you couldn't use your headset to talk to anybody. I don't know if you remember that, but for the very first, probably for almost a month,
I was not a PlayStation guy, so I was on Xbox.
I jumped from that PlayStation, and that was just another thing that made me go, fuck, dude, I have to get over to 360. That's where the rest of my clan is, dude. And these fucking guys, this is how fucking cool they are, dude. And it's shout out to Merc, everybody, dude. Will, Ronan, all the guys who were there from the fucking beginning. They all waited for me, dude. And they held down the fort, dude. And they learned the maps. Because let me tell you, man, we weren't just learning the maps, okay? We had a fucking system. Our system was pretty simple, dude. It was something I came up with called A, B, and C. So if you were A, you were far left. If you were B, you were taking the center. If you were C, you were on the far right. And if we had it set up to 6 people, so we would have 2 on A, 2 on B, 2 on C. One was forward in each position, and one is back on each position to hold spawn points.
Support.
So if anybody dies, we still hold that map. The whole thing that we wanted to do was hold one half of a map. If you held a spawn point in most of those old games, you had victory, on your side if you were a good shooter, because they had to come to you.
Yep.
If you remember those games, it was all about sneaking around a corner, getting a good shot, and popping your head back.
All you had to do is get a first couple kills, and then as soon as you get the lead, you sit back, and they had to come. If not, they're going to lose by time.
I know they call it camping.
They call it camping. I'm out there, roasting marshmallows waiting for you. That's the way it is.
We called it, what did we call it, Andrew?
Candy?
No, it was tactical placement, or we came up with a better word for camping for it. The thing is we were so good at that maneuver, and we could definitely I would proudly call us one of the very first camping clans. But the thing was we got so far ahead before we decided to hold position. Because what we do is at the beginning of a match, especially some of these gung-ho players, they come at your ass, dude. So if you find out exactly where you need to be and just look for that opening for them to run through, bam, hit, bam, hit, bam, hit. Everybody,
you know where they're coming from.
Yeah, stay calm, get your kills. You get 10 fucking kills ahead on somebody in a clan battle, dude. It's very hard to come back from that.
Oh, absolutely.
And you're going to get those guys that keep running up the middle or crawling on their stomach and get just around the corner. Bah! That was my money. I was a sniper. I stayed in the very back. I was usually B in the rear and just holding. Yeah, you hated me for sure.
Oh, for sure. I was the one. I'm the dude with the double shotguns running down the hallway.
Those are the good days, man. You got to be kidding me.
Man. Oh, come on.
Did you ever? Were you ever in any clans? Did you ever battle?
Yeah, I was in Easy Company. That was my main clan. I was with.
So them. You were in clan battles on Game Battles and MLG.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
Were you there before MLG?
Before MLG, I was on clan battles. Yep. It's been like I'm telling you, Halo 2, and Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Those were my 2 main games that I played competitively. Made a little bit of money. We did some of that. We actually bet money on some of those games and made money. And You know, it was only like 10 or 15 bucks, but hey, it was 10 or 15 bucks. So it was fun. You know, it made it a little more exciting, you know. And, you know, I had the people quit out. You know, people complain about not having the right gamer tag being somebody else. And it was very funny how people would do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But you know, whatever. You could complain all you want. You lost, you lost. That's why you're complaining. Little crybabies. You know, that's how I used to always say it. But, you know, it's fun. I loved playing online. It was one of my it's funny because when you talk about gaming and you talk about video games, I think about moments of my life. You know, everybody has a game. I would have a game that I would go to relax or console myself if I'm having a bad day or I'm upset, and I would you know, go and play this game and it, you know, be relaxing. You know,
Yes.
and then you know, not trauma, but you know, something that happened that day that, you know, you're like, you know what, I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm gonna play this game tonight and I'm gonna have a good time.
Well, check this out.
Talk to me. Uh-oh.
So this is the 2007 winter season ladder from Game Battles. We are down here at number 19, it looks like, out of 20. So,
oh, nice.
And so listen, I'm glad I was able to find this too.
Look it
man.
up and see if you can find EasyCo.
Well, so here's the deal. This is
right.
I turned this into a Word document for us to find the Game Battles ladder from 2007 right now on their fucking. Good luck, dude. Like,
yeah, good luck.
I was just smart enough to, at one point, I actually archived a lot of this shit. But yeah, that's how old school this is, dude. Look at Andrew. She's like, holy shit.
That's cool, dude.
Wait till you see. I'm gonna pull up some other things here too. But yeah, 100%. This winter ladder. If you remember Dead Presidents, we would battle them. This was serious for us, man. We did this for a while, and we did it to the point where it was just like, it was our life, man. 100% our life, man.
Oh yeah, man. Absolutely.
There's really, if you do this, you can't do anything but it be your life, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, man. I got a few friends that I had on my Xbox, and I've literally 17, 18 years. I've been friends with these guys, just playing the same games. Some of us would buy games the other people, you know, wanted, just because we wanted to, you know, just hang out because we didn't play the other game anymore or the game got discontinued. You know, I remember when Halo 2, when it was finally not going to, you know, they didn't let anybody on it anymore. They stayed on it for like, I think it was like 480 hours after, because as long as there was a game running, they couldn't take it off the server. So there was like this one game on that would save for 480 hours. Everybody tried to, you know, do this one infinite custom game until it died. But it was fun.
Eventually they do die unless we keep that going. So
but those friendships are cool. And you know, and you want to talk about people that you go to, you talk to them, and you know, and they have no judgment because you don't even really know them in person. So you can say whatever you want, but after a while, you get to know them for so long, you don't want to be a fake person, and you just talk to them about all kinds of stuff, and it's a great relationship because there's like no judgment, and who cares if they do? They don't even really know you, you know. It's a weird, interesting relationship.
So listen, this is and I want to tell somebody real quick. If you see up here, Merc, this is actually, my bad. This is Monster J's Combat Basics. So this was something that was entered into a Word document way back in the day. At the very beginning. If you play like this were real and you might actually die, you will play better. Listen, this guy was an ex-Marine, right? He's an older guy too. He's probably about 6 years older than us. He's still on my friends list. Monster J, God love you if you're watching this. But weapons, headshots, how to get more of them. Bazooka versus Panzer Shrek. Smoke, when, where, and why to use smoking mines. Dude, we and did he mention it? I think you did. I think I saw you. Yes, I remember Hell Week. So real quick before... Something called Hell Week is when anybody who was a high-ranking official in my clan or anybody who was trying to get into it, if you were part of Hell Week, you had to go through a monstrous series of drills, exercises. Like, seriously, the real problem is that if we put so much time and effort into practicing, dude, that we just didn't play enough to consistently win, dude. And that was really what it was all about back then, dude. Games have evolved much differently since then.
Oh, absolutely, man. It's you're talking about like Fortnite or the third person shooters. You know, they're a whole different beast. And then the different combinations of buttons that you press now compared to what you used to have to do, it was just so different,
Yeah.
Yep. And I remember having to use the pause button to like change menus, and then it changes the button to go back to something else. It was just always ridiculous. And now it's like so much more convenient and easy. Or maybe I just gotten used to it. I don't know. That's what.
Yeah.
Maybe I
That
just
could
got
easily
used
be
to
it too.
Yeah.
That could easily be it
You
too.
can train a monkey to do anything,
Merc, check this out. This is a monster. This is
Oh
Monster
my
J's. This is something. So look, this is before Brady Games would put out the big books for you to buy so that you could check out map positions. We would actually take pictures, overhead pictures of these, all right,
Yep.
with a digital camera or something, and we would mail them physically in a disc to each other in an SD card, which was like a 300 meg SD card back then. And we would go back and forth and edit this shit, dude. He would send me something and I would go over it and say, okay, let's call this A, where the Ranger would go, B, where the Ranger would go, like all these different positions. That's how hardcore we were about it. Holy shit, dude.
That is pretty hardcore, dude. That is
Yeah,
a
man.
whole other level, man.
Yeah,
Wow.
and like I said,
Yeah.
if you would think that if
Me and
that
my
was
guys
the
weren't
case,
that serious. They weren't. My guys weren't that serious. Just letting you know that.
I think much later we started buying the books and then scanning those. We would finally, somebody would be some space age millionaire in my clan would have access to a scanner, and they would scan the actual maps, and then we would email them to each other, which would be, just a crazy fucking process. But
Yeah, it sounds like some work.
multiplayer for me was a massive revolution, dude. Like,
Oh, for sure.
once I started realizing, because not only, I don't know if a lot of people remember this, but I'm going to blow a lot of people's heads off with this. So as you know, this is the PlayStation 2. Okay, and I told you that already. All right.
Yeah.
But what a lot of people don't know is the only way you could video game over the internet with this machine is if you had this.
Oh.
All right. That is the hard disk drive with an Ethernet port on it. All right. So with that Ethernet port, I would be able to plug this into anybody's dial-up modem at their house. And we would go over, and what my friends and what we would turn into became a party game, because we would fire up something like Tiger Woods Golf or Madden, like 2005, Madden
Online
2006,
was a big
and
deal.
just drunk or something like that, and playing somebody and just fucking playing like an idiot. Or there was boxing games you could play online. That was revolutionary, man. You know what I mean? Like, so
man.
that whole entire hard drive situation. If you talk to my friend Jason or anybody, that I was one of the first guys in the neighborhood that had that, and they would come over and be like, "What are you doing plugging into that internet with that game system?" Be like, "Dude, wait, you'll be able to play other people." And he's like, "What do you mean?" People are like, "What do you mean other people?" And they didn't get it. I had already been bitten by that bug at that time. I was just trying to pass it around. Aaron Bailey, what's up? Thanks for tuning in. Yes, you did that shit. Yes, that's awesome.
Sega Saturn was with Marvel versus Capcom 2 was the only game I bought. That stupid Sega Saturn, which had like no inventory of games, just so I could play one game, which was Marvel versus Capcom 2. That's what I.
You know what? We might as well get into our. Let's get into our top five. The gaming episode. So freaking futuristic, man. Those graphics. So listen, we're gonna go with our top five. The gaming episode.
I like.
Yeah, let's roll. Yeah, I don't know. That's, again, great job, production department. You guys are fucking slaying it back there.
Oh, that's who did it. Okay,
that's exactly who did it, man. Yeah, they do it all the time. You know what? Let's get into it. I'm gonna go ahead and just announce my top five. If you know anything about these games and you want to shoot some shit back and forth, let's do it. I've successfully alienated the group of people that have initially started watching this episode, that have dwindled down to the people who actually give a shit about gaming right now, which is about 6 people. Totally cool with it. Doesn't matter. We love this shit, and we're going to keep talking about it. Do we have anybody saying something? That shit was when it first came out. Yeah, exactly. It first
Yep.
came out. 100%.
Yeah, it was lit.
So I don't really know if I have a particular order that I'm doing in this, but I'm going to go all the way back to some of the first games that I really enjoyed playing. And this was by far one of the games I remember the most. Now, everybody talks about Adventure or Zelda.
Game.
If everybody, most people love Zelda, but Zelda 2 did something completely different to this. It was always sort of a top-down game where you would see Link standing sideways and you could sort of like push the sword, and it was a really weird thing. This game was the first game to sort of do that, where you walked around in this sort of map area, but once you hit, like, let's say that little house, a little cluster of homes, you eventually would be transported into an area like this, where it would be sort of a side-scrolling thing now, which added a completely different element back then. You could jump on top of these houses and walk across, and then jump into a chimney,
Up
and then
thrust
find
and
it.
Down thrust.
Yeah, that was
all
a
kinds
completely different fucking
whole different
thing,
game
man.
style. Whole different game style.
So it opened everything up for it, man. And I remember from the very beginning intro to this, to Link sitting here in front of the princess that was forever sleeping for some reason. From there it was just, and there was one level where you've got to go through the maze correctly in order to get there. And I remember how massively frustrating that shit was, man. Those games were super hard back then. All the sports, but we all got on and played NASCAR. Everyone had the wheel headphones.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, we're listing our top 5 right now, so we're going to keep rolling with that. But yeah, Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link, and I think the box I had was the box on the right. I don't know what the difference is between the boxes. I can't tell you that.
I don't. I had the one on the right as well.
Yeah, because the games were gold, which was just was so badass to have that.
Those 2 games were the gold cartridges. Absolutely. Yep.
Anybody out there who has any memories of Zelda 2, please throw it in the comment section. Let me know. If you're watching after the fact, still throw that in there. Zelda 2, like I said, it just did something different. Being able to, in this one, when you had your sword full, it would shoot shoot
a laser out. Kind of. Yep. Yeah, shoot like a laser almost.
And there was just really, really cool shit. You could interact with the townsfolk.
Talk to people.
Really rad.
Yep. Talk to them. You could do favors for them. It's like a role-playing game kind of. It had a little bit of Double Dragon, the way you would play Double Dragon,
right?
And a little bit of Mario Brothers, and it was just that kind of whole combination that I think only Nintendo could provide. And that game was amazing. I remember that game as a kid, playing it as a 10 or 12-year-old, and then keep on playing it because I never finished as much, and then do more and more and just keep on going. And that's one of the ones that you could save progress by putting a code in, or it would just save progress. That was like one of the only rare Nintendo games that would even do that.
Yeah.
And that's what I loved about that.
Yeah, you had to get to a certain point and then you were good to go. But I don't know, there was just something about it, man. Someone put a lot of effort into it. Zelda 2 was a big one for me. And at the very same time, I would still, because this was I think we're talking about 88 maybe 86, 88, something like that.
90, so, right.
So, and I'm a relic. I'm an old man, but
I'm 42.
I was still playing. Not only was I playing these games at home, I was playing them in the arcade too, because that was still something that was massively popular. The arcades would not die until right around the 1990s. So this game was still pretty big. And I know that some of these games like Mario Brothers and stuff, I think they sort of started off or wound up being part of the arcade culture that never latched down onto that for any reason. But one game I latched onto hardcore in the goddamn arcade.
Oh, yeah.
NBA Jam!
Is it the shoes?
My God, dude. Let me tell you, me and Eric B., Jason, all of our friends, we would hang out at Don Carter's in Kettle Lake and just sit there, like you said, with stacks of quarters, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Challenge motherfuckers, man. And it was beautiful back then, man. This was sort of the layout. Oh, you would have them side by side like that. If you were lucky, I think we only had, if I'm being honest, I think back then we only had 2 of those, which is still pretty good. So we had enough for Yeah, we would have, and two of them would be enough for 8 people to play, dude. So if you
Yeah.
got 2-on-2s going on right there, that's pretty cool. We would have a
Oh, man.
blast playing NBA Jam. I was I was definitely the guy who was smart enough to, at the very beginning, I knew there was a specific time you could tap a button sequence and you would jump into this tank game,
Oh my goodness.
which a lot of people don't remember is Battlezone from Atari. So this
Oh,
game, which was made by Midway, which was the same company that
made NBA Jam.
made NBA Jams, they had this, and what basically was is once you, I don't really know if you even had to win. I think you just had to play that game in some capacity, and once you did that, then you were given the big head on ability. Now, this is actually a
Oh
screenshot
man,
before anybody
classic.
starts getting in my ass about this. This is a screenshot from a more modern version of NBA Jam because I, for some reason, couldn't get a really clear version of the old arcade big head.
Oh
But this is
man,
basically what it would do, and the big head really didn't do anything for you. I
no,
know there was probably a couple
got in
other
the
things
way.
that I think I put cheats like I think speed cheats or some. There was a couple
Yeah,
other things, but we
you
allowed
could
that.
do it no matter whatever shot you take, it would go in from anywhere in the court. There were all kinds of cheap ones, man. I remember that you would be super easy to foul. Everything, it was just
Oh yeah,
all kinds of fun stuff. They would, I think they even had President Clinton's head as one of the heads that you could put on the
nice,
character and
cool. I
stuff
do
like
like
that.
that. Very good.
Uh,
All right, nice. That was another one. Let me tell you, man.
oh, I love NBA Jam.
We put a lot of quarters in NBA Jam, man. We played the shit out of that game, dude. And even when it came to the Nintendo and it came to home systems, I think it was Genesis, if I'm being honest. Genesis might have been the first one that was sort of like, this feels like NBA Jam because Genesis
Yeah,
really had the power. That
16-bit baby.
dude, those were a lot of bits. That was twice the
Yeah,
bits we were used to in that world.
yeah, that's right.
2 times the bits, man.
Yeah, man, that we're
Those
double down, double down.
they doubled down on the bits, and there's a lot of really killer Netflix documentaries about what we're talking about right now too.
Oh
So
man, no
if anybody
doubt.
wants to get lost in that shit, look up some of these other things, video games and stuff
It
like
is a
that.
culture. It is a culture.
But I would also be remiss if, even though as a hardcore video gamer, and I'm talking hardcore to the point where I have tenosynovitis in my thumbs, that can come back at any moment if I play for too long. I have to, even though I played consoles 99% of my gaming career, I have to show some love to the PC because for one small section of my life, meaning about 5 fucking years, I was completely addicted to
Oh man.
Diablo 2.
Oh man.
Anybody out there who remembers this game, holy shit.
That was the best, man.
So I was having a big problem for some reason, and this is a screenshot from Diablo 2 Resurrection, which is now a current console version of this game. I couldn't find the old screenshots. I don't know, maybe I was lazy. I don't know. But this is actually all the post expansion pack characters. In my day, it was just Barbarian, Amazon, Sorceress, and Paladin, and that's all you got to fuck with. But at some point, they added an assassin, a druid, and I believe a necromancer to the whole fold.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, my bad.
The
Sorceress
necromancer.
too.
Yeah,
The
that's
sorceress
Sorceress
was one of the starters.
and the
Um,
necromancer. Yeah.
let me tell you, man, this game was just one of the greatest. Not only if you had a good PC to run it on, just a halfway decent PC, these beautiful colors, the
Beautiful,
sprites,
man.
everything from that. Like, it was my first foray into sitting down with a mouse and function buttons and playing at the same time. And when I tell you right now that I could not for the life of me do that right now as well as I did back then, I would not be lying because I completely have forgotten that life. But at some
Oh yeah.
point, it was literally just mouse and keyboard. I was learning how to play it, but this game was so fucking fun, dude. It was just a beautiful game to play. And then if you got Wirt's leg at one particular area and you were able to access the cow
Oh yes.
the
Oh
cow
my
level,
God.
you would be
Oh
able
my
to
God.
run around and massacre moo, moo,
Oh
moo,
yep.
moo, moo, moo. That's all you would hear the
Oh
entire
man.
time. Moo, moo, was these cows. And then you would leave a freaking bunch of dead cows in your wake. If you killed the cow king, it would
Oh
drop
man.
an amazing weapon or armor set for you, something like that. Man, let me tell you, for someone who hadn't played a lot of PC games, there was something about that game. And shout out to
Yeah.
Audi
Oh man.
Collins, aka Soft Heart. Soft Heart PC was one of the guys. Captain Crunch, I played with for a while too on that. We played for years, man, to the point we were trading items on eBay and selling items on eBay that people would never touch in their entire life. It was insane. But that was my really one and only foray into gaming competitively, or not competitively, but
On the
doing
PC.
runs with people. Yeah, doing Mephisto runs, making sure that we had specific magic find on me, so that magic find would drop for people. Just I learned a lot about community. And granted, I want everyone to know this. I played this game for 5-6 years without any voice chat.
Wow.
This was all pulling up stuff and typing in messages on the computer while playing with my F1, F2, F4. Dude, I don't know how I did it, but I learned it because that's how hardcore I was. That's how hardcore Bob was. I loved gaming. It was a beautiful game. Did you play D2 at all?
I did play D2, but not to that extent. I played probably not with any big groups or anything like that. I would just play on my own. Diablo 3 is one that I played more. That was more of a team effort. But when I was playing Diablo 2, it was just me on my friend's PC or my PC, just playing the game, going through it, just doing, solo queue stuff, It was really fun, and I enjoyed it very much. But when my more experience, if I was going to talk about online experiencing while I'm gaming, that was Diablo 3. And Diablo 3, I was a demon hunter, and I just love that character. And, there's different ways you could play him. And, it was a fun game. Diablo 3 was a trip. Absolutely.
Well, I tell you what, man, Diablo 2 did something to me to the point where I had to distance myself from PC gaming forever, and I've never gone back. I played Diablo 3 Lord of Destruction on Xbox for a long time. I still have it. I played Diablo 2 Resurrected right now. It's one of my favorite games. Ron, what's going on? Thanks for coming and hanging out with us. The gaming episode. We're talking about my top 5 right now. I think I'm at number 3 right now. I'm about to talk about one of my favorite console games ever, Fallout 3.
Oh, man.
I don't know if anybody has had the pleasure of playing this wonderful game or has had the complete displeasure of walking in to a fucking Deathclaw den to the right here with just a pipe gun on you, which, you got 56 rounds in it, but it's going to take 556 to put this thing down. I don't know if anybody's ever had to deal with that. There was just something about this game, dude. It was such a beautiful game, and the VAT system. I forgot what the acronym stood for. I think it's targeting system was the last two. But basically, this is the first game that I played on a console where when you aimed at something, time would freeze. Well, it wouldn't freeze. It would slow down immensely because they could still hit you if they were close to you. But you had percentages pop up of your chance to hit a specific body part. So it really brought that element of shooting a leg or taking or shooting an arm that was holding a weapon to give you a chance to run or something like that. Fallout 3 was really one of the first games of its kind that I had ever played, and it absolutely blew me away, man.
I never played Fallout 3. I've seen people play it, and I saw those things, and it was just like, wow, that's a lot of work.
It appealed to the scavenger in me, dude, because it was like you could mix a fucking something with something else with a rubber band so you can get a gun. I remember a toy car and a rubber band and a dart with a poison gland from a death claw would give me like a paralysis dart. I liked that. I liked that I could pick up little pieces of shit on the ground, or not actual pieces of shit. Makeshift. Little things on the ground and actually put weapons together.
You like picking up pieces of shit?
you like eating little balls of shit? Yeah, I had breakfast? I had a lot of fun playing that game. It appealed to me in that manner. And honestly, that kind of parlayed me, or it kind of rolled over into my love for this game.
Oh, that game. Absolutely.
The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim blew me away. I had not played any Elder Scrolls game up to that point. I knew nothing about Oblivion. I knew nothing about that shit. All I know is that I started playing this game and I was treated to actual dragons that I would fight. And when I say some of the most stunning graphics I've ever seen in my entire life, being able to walk around in this beautiful world with actual people walking around. Granted, they were NPCs. They make wonderful memes right now.
Oh, yeah, the way they walk and dance.
They were a lot of fun. Being able to see scenery like this. I mean, this just was beautiful.
That's actual gameplay right there. That's
exactly.
That game was, I loved Skyrim. I started it. They had two other Elder Scrolls before. I jumped on Morrowind, Elder Scrolls 3.
Morrowind, man, hell yeah.
Morrowind, yeah. On the first Xbox with the X on it. Big black box with a green circle in the middle, and that I played Elder Scrolls on that. I had I loved it. I played the maximum ultimate game. It was just one of those amazing games. And after I had Morrowind, I came to Oblivion, which is a watered down. They made it easier each year. Each game. I felt Oblivion was easier, and then I felt that Skyrim was even easier than the other two. But I liked it when it got easier, honestly. So I was very happy with the way the game progressed. And it's amazing how Xbox owns them now.
Yeah, go figure.
Yeah, Basada Software is owned by Xbox now. Microsoft, anyway. Yeah.
So we're gonna go ahead and roll with yours, man. You've got, as you can see in the that thing I just sent you, you've got a top 5 that you threw at me.
Yep, there we go. There we go.
So we're gonna start with this puppy right here. Go ahead, tell us about it.
Listen, let me tell you something. Super Mario 3, man. Okay. Let me tell you something about Super Mario 3. All right. Yeah, 1 and 2 were cool. 2 was completely different from the first one. But then Super Mario 3 came out. And man, there were so many different things about it. You could go behind the screens, you could go through stuff, you could fly now, you could turn into stone, you're a raccoon when you eat a leaf. What are you talking about? That game was like an epitome of video games. It got me so into video games. Like I was giving up on Nintendo, and then this game came out, and that's when they were fighting with Sega Genesis. And I'm going to tell you, that game, I ended up buying that game while I still had a Genesis and I was already moved on, because that game was so much fun. And I feel like a lot of people did that. That game was one of those games that you could, play a flute. There was all these little side games in it. It was an amazing, trippy game, man.
Let me tell you, I didn't love, and I tried to move on from that kiddie style of gaming real quick, as fast as I could. That's why I jumped to Genesis or the Master System before even Genesis came out. But Mario Brothers 2 was a very big departure too. That was, I think, when you could dig in the ground, like the first time, like pulling carrots up and shit.
Turnips. Yeah, man.
Yeah, dude. So
Radishes.
I enjoyed that, dude, because it was different than the Mario Brothers. But then this game too, I really fucking enjoyed, because they basically took a great idea that they already had and they did a great innovation with it, which was, like you said, the ability for you to actually fly, which is what's going on in this situation right here. The innovation.
Yeah, and then being able to, and then if you had there was like a frog suit that helped you swim better, and then there was that suit, and then there were 2 different forms of that suit. That's one, and then there's another one that was a whole. There's like 2 different types of leaves, and then like you would turn into a whole little bear, and that would turn into stone. And you stand like this, and it'd be a little turned into stone.
A little bear.
A little bear looking thing.
But what an advancement and an innovation.
Yeah,
and it's exactly like what this game did.
Oh, let me tell you, when Call of Duty came out, this is number 4. You want to talk about online gaming. Halo 2 was fun, but this one really brought everybody together. And this is the one that people like really got into. Let's get on this map. Let's practice this map. Let's go over here. They're going to spawn from over there. We got to stay over here. You carry this weapon, I'll carry these weapons. Make sure you put some claymores on the side over here, because they're coming that way, because they can't get through any other way. They're not taking down walls like you do in Battlefield. That there was funnels, like those funnels. Oh my God, man! Oh man!
I knew you
want to talk about.
I knew you'd get a little chill.
Buddy.
And I know my boy Mark is out there saying the same shit. He's got to be looking
hanging out up there, man.
He didn't say he hasn't said anything for a while. There you go. Love that game.
Love that.
Let me tell you, man. Our clan went ape shit for this fucking game.
Oh, for sure.
We took, our website went from whatever black and red, I think is what we were using as the color scheme. It went directly to this green, this fucking modern, night vision digital, green.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, all kinds of slick noises. This is like, let me tell you, dude, we would go, you could not fuck with us on Crash.
Oh, bro. Get out of here, bro. I'd be on top of that 3rd-story building.
You could not fuck with us on Vacant.
Oh, yeah. I would hang out right around that corner with a shotgun. You ain't going to get me, dude. I'll get you. Oh, please. Oh, please.
These games, This game was a massive innovation, man. 100%.
What a
It
trip.
really did some great things, man. It really did some
Oh
great.
man.
It unfortunately, what it also did was this game is what I believe this was the turning point game. So after
Yeah.
this game was released, this is when everybody was like, "Look, I know you don't like the World War II shooters I've been trying to get you to like for the last fucking 5 years. I know you don't love that." But now there's a cool one now where you can throw C4 at people and it's modern and it applies to wars that we're in the middle of right now.
Sabotage.
It basically linked into the sort of like the current patriotism that the country was feeling at the time because
Oh yeah.
we're consistently in war. But if we're going to be war, then we might as well be playing video games that are
Modernize it.
really cool.
Yep.
ABC on all the maps, you know it.
Oh man, you were talking about that earlier, man. But yeah,
You know
Call
it.
of Duty was an amazing game.
Yeah.
The fun on that game, the maps on that game, they were so well done. They did a
Yeah.
great job, man. I
They
really
did.
did enjoy it.
And
But
again, we're talking about the forwarding of a franchise. The franchises, it's tough to stick to just one formula.
yeah,
And this game right
Infinity
here,
Ward, and then they changed names. There were all kinds of
yeah, you
different.
knew that if the Infinity Ward was actually for me, it was the good one. And then
Yeah.
whenever Activision took over, I didn't
Yep.
love it. And then it would be like a back and forth. I think they
Back
kind of
and
would do
forth.
every other.
Yeah.
But another series of games was the Grand Theft Auto series.
Oh, buddy, that's number 3 for me. I'm going to talk about that game. I've been ever since Vice City. It might be because I'm from Miami. I have a little bit of an extra love for this one, but I enjoyed Grand Theft Auto 3, and I love Vice City. Vice City was
City's
the
the
one,
greatest.
the best, man. I had the double case for the Xbox, and man, what a great because it wasn't on Xbox at first. It
Right.
was on only PlayStation. And when they finally brought it to Xbox, they brought Vice City and Grand Theft Auto 3. And man, I was so giddy because I was never a PlayStation guy. Never had a PlayStation. I was anti-PlayStation. I'm not, don't get me wrong. Japanese people are great. I'm just not a big, PlayStation Sony guy. Microsoft is for me. I don't know. I've always been, like that. But man, what a great game that game is, man. The things you could do.
Let me tell you,
he could put you on.
The one thing I remember the most, and I think most of us remember the most, is stumbling upon this.
Oh, the chainsaw.
At a very particular point in the game, which, if you can remember, is they tried to do their best to recreate the Scarface scene where somebody gets chainsawed, their head gets chainsawed. The famous Scarface scene that happened supposedly on Miami Beach.
Yep.
Yep. A beautiful thing. And check it out. This was what you were striving for, right?
Oh yeah, that was the final boss. Yes, your final house.
Mansion. This was the Scarface mansion. So basically,
with a helicopter and the boat in the back.
It was a beautiful. It was a beautiful sort of thrown into a blender. The idea of Grand Theft Auto 3, the idea of Scarface, and the idea of any sort of cartel antagonist protagonist relationship you had. Throw
You
in a
wanted
fucking
to be
blender,
a bad guy.
and that's it's exactly what this entire game was, man. And man,
I loved it, man. Antagonist, protagonist. It was one of those games that you were the bad guy, and you did bad things, and it was fun to do.
To an 80s soundtrack, the greatest 80s video game soundtrack ever, dude.
Oh man, I think, and that's the first year that the Vice City night dancers, I don't know, they had a little extra pizzazz in my opinion.
Yeah.
When there was there were other girls in the other swing joints and all that, but the girls at the clubs in the Vice City, they really, it touched me.
They hit different, as the kids say nowadays.
Hit right. It just
hits different, man. And
Yeah,
apparently this game for you hit different as well, man.
You want to talk about a game? This game, you want to talk about the things I did in front of a mall, sitting around waiting for people. Like, again, when it comes to gaming, I talk about experiences that brought me into the world. Oh man, you want to talk about Mega Man and Iron Man? Don't do that to that guy. Mega Man should have had Iron Man. That's right. There's an infinity combo right there. And if you get stuck in one of those, you're a son of a gun. And you don't want to get stuck in that. Oh man, look at these guys, man. You want to talk about the Hulk and Cyclops? There was 56 different characters that you could choose from, and this was before add-ons and all downloadable content. And the thing was,
I love Mega Man, by the way. The Mega Man video game series is one of my favorite video game series ever. Dude.
Oh, I love Mega Man. I was thinking about putting that in instead of Mario, but I had to. Mario.
It's tough. You've been
This
playing as
had to
long
be
as
a
we
big-
have, dude. That's tough to
Yeah,
narrow
man.
it down to 5, man.
Yeah, man. So, Marvel versus Capcom, the things I used to do when I played that game, when I first started playing that game in the arcade. And then when I actually bought a Sega Saturn, which was a pretty expensive system in that time. And to play it on a terrible connection on a 56K flex modem, it was one of the worst. But I played that crap online, dude. And I would loved because I just wanted to fight people on that game. I was pretty good.
Just to
And
give
yeah,
everybody an idea, by the way, this is Tekken for the original PlayStation in the original jewel cases that they used to come in, as you can see. All right, it's legit as fuck. By the way, I don't know if
Yep.
there's I think at one point I had a receipt in here. I don't know, but
okay, I got to bring it back. $54. Jesus Christ, they've been expensive
that's
forever.
how long. And we're talking PlayStation 1 video games. And this was, if you saw, it was marked down from 57
Yeah,
to
54.
54. So
Yeah.
originally it was 57 and then
Wow.
54 on secondary because this was probably purchased at one of the CD video game shops.
Before, what was it called? It was Electronics Boutique. Before
Electronic
it was
Boutique,
GameStop.
but there was a lot
Remember
of other
Electronic
ones.
Boutique before GameStop?
This actually is a booklet that came with it. They would it would take. I mean, look, man, it's insane.
I remember that's the PlayStation I remember. Yep.
Yeah. So just to let everybody know, I know that even I felt like a crazy person recently for going and waiting at 5 a.m. to spend a decent amount of money on a video game system. But it's always been that way. I've always been doing that. My parents have always known that. Feeding my love for video games never really yielded any negative side effects. But you've got one game that you say is one of your all-time favorite.
Oh, Smite. And this is why I still play this stupid game today. And I'm going to tell you, I call it stupid because of the hours I've spent on it. And it's just dumb. But you want to talk about it? That's Cuckoo Khan. That's one of my favorite characters. I got like 20 stars on him. So yeah, I play him often, and that's his ultimate. I love it. I can't see who that. Oh, that's Chang'e, man. You want to talk about one of the healing mages out there? She's a pain in the butt, and she has a great time. She has one of the best escapes right in her kit. And this game, the people I play with that game, I play it competitively. There's a ranking system. I love that, and I like to be judged. I like to play games that matter. There's Raw doing his little healing section. That game has been around for like 8 or 9 years now, and I still play it. It came out when League of Legends came out, and it's like a kind of a spin-off of that. And it's an MMORPG, and it's a very rare. There are not too many games like that, and that game is fun as heck, or hell as fuck, whatever you want to call it. It's all those all combined into one. That game is the Shiznolian, and I'll tell you right now, if you haven't played it, you should try it. It's crack.
It's those kinds of games that where you go to work, whatever it is the hell you do, and as a gamer you have the ability to separate your life like this, because what I yearn for as a gamer is to go and do something that I can't do. So obviously I'm going to go play Madden because I can't fucking do that in real life. All these things that we play on video game systems are probably a version of us that we wish it's very fantastical. It's very much like trying to escape your life. And that's why these games have always been important. So if you're going to go and spend your time and be around people where your survival for a video game, which I don't care what anyone says. I know having fun was the point, but really winning was.
Every time. Play to win, dude.
If you're going to surround yourself, you got to have a few people that are fun, but you got to have more people that are good.
Yeah.
And those particular games with strategy where you've got multiple people that are doing healing while this other person is doing protective spells and this person's doing offensive, whatever the case may be, that's what makes it fun. That's what makes it like you could be around 4 or 5 people at work that you fucking hate and then go back and play with those same 4 or 5 people not knowing it's them online on a video game and probably wind up liking them. Yeah, it's completely different.
When you play a game like Smite, you're all these different gods. You could be Thor, you could be Odin, you could be Zeus, you could be all these mythological characters that you can't throw lightning out of your hands, But wouldn't it be nice if you could do it, So that's what Smite does, and it brings you in, and you're there doing that, and then you have people that are a part of your team because you could play it is 3 to 5 characters. Okay.
Yeah.
And you're on this map and you got to have these guys protecting you because you can't take 3 people on your own. You got to you need to have a team there for you, and everybody has their role. And that makes it fun. Like, Rosenbage, he's got to protect, he's going to take out minions and he's going to, just protect people. And it's just one of those things, healing them. And this guy's just going to do all kinds of damage. This guy's just a damage dealer. He's disgusting. He's fun, but he's really lightweight. You hit him a few times, he's dead. So it's just
pretty rad, man.
It's a really, really fun game, man. And you have never played it, right?
I have not.
Oh man, that's one of those things that I would like for you to, you got homework tonight and I want you to download and play that game and laugh at me later and say it's terrible. But I love it. And it's been around for a long time and there's so many things you can do with it. And it's so different from any other game that's out there now.
Aaron Bailey is asking, what is our first 3 or 4 systems? I think I said it. Like I said, I'm old enough to have the actual first Pong Odyssey Magnavox system. From there, we went directly to the Atari 2600. I think we got the next Atari as well, but then we went directly to Intellivision, ColecoVision. So that's the first 3 or 4 for sure. So the Atari was one that we fell in love with. Going back and playing those games is tough. They suck really bad now.
They're hard.
Really
I don't even think I think you have to have a tube TV for some of those because you can't.
Well, and that's funny. I'm glad you mentioned that because now that we're playing all these HD games, I have all these systems behind me and probably 5-10 more at home in Miami. I have no way of actually playing them correctly because they don't work on HD TVs. You can buy those different filters or whatever, but that shit doesn't work as well.
Yeah,
I am on the hunt right now for a 52-inch
tube
box. Yeah, but the old big screens, dude, that basically have the
projector screens.
They're called rear projection is what they're called.
Yeah,
I'm
you should be looking for
DL.
Maybe you can find a DLP. Do you remember those old DLP TVs?
Yes.
Maybe that might work for you too.
Yeah, but that's really all you can play them on, man. Like those, and again, you're going to go through all the trouble of doing that, and
good luck
they're
playing
look
Duck
like
Hunt.
shit.
Yeah,
they just suck. The games, and let me tell you, man, when you go back and play, like I got my wife the Nintendo, the little tiny one that had like 80 games pre-loaded on it, but I went and downloaded like 5,000 more for it. I sort of hacked it and then added a bunch of those games because I wanted to play like Blaster Master and some of these other games that I remember
Blaster
playing.
Master,
Rygar. Karnov, those games on NES were fucking, dude.
Yeah, man. I used to
they
play.
Were so hard though.
Yeah, I used to like playing Tiger Heli, and there was another one called Tiger Heli was a helicopter game, and then there was Operation Wolf, which was a gun game. That was super fun. I used to love Operation
Wolf.
Yeah.
Andrew Pace says his was the Nintendo, the Super Nintendo, the Sega, and the N64.
Yeah.
I don't have any games for this N64. If anybody wants to donate any games, let me know. But yeah, this thing is in mint condition, man.
Funny that you mentioned the N64. Ron mentioned the Mario Kart game, and I'm going to tell you, Mario Kart was a fun split game. Nintendo 64, I think, was one of the first games that you could play 4 characters. 4 controllers. You could plug right into the system without adding any type of add-on to. So that was really, see how the 4 ports in the front. Nintendo 64 did that first, and that was amazing, and it really made it fun for a lot of people. I remember playing Star Fox.
Even the PlayStation 1 only has 2.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Yeah, Nintendo 64 is the one that did it, and it was amazing when they did that, and it was awesome because you could do it on the PlayStation, but you had to get an adapter to make it 4. So there was a little thing that for the PlayStation, and they did that for the Nintendo also, the first NES. But the Nintendo
did you play Dreamcast?
Yes, I played Dreamcast. I didn't own a Dreamcast, but I played on the Dreamcast. Yeah.
I remember playing that fucking Fishman game. What the hell was that called?
The one that you run through the submarine.
It was just a fish with a human's face.
Wow, that's weird. Man.
And you had to fucking feed it on a regular basis, talk to it, because back then there was I think it wasn't a microphone
AI?
there was something. Yeah, it was an AI game. There was some way that you could control it or speak to it or give it commands, and you had to do it correctly in order for that animal. I forgot what the name of that fucking game. There was a lot of experimental cool shit. Matter of fact, I'll go back to like
Sega CD. You remember that thing?
Intellivision and a game called Microsurgeon, where you had to actually do surgery. beautiful game too, man. I remember being it,
Oh
but
man,
you
sounds
look back and
horrible.
they're actually really bad. They're actually tough games to look. If you go through like even like Ghouls and Ghosts or Ghosts and
Oh,
Goblins, depending
that
on
was
what
fun arcade game too.
that shit, that was one of the
And they
most
had it on
frustrating
Nintendo.
video
Yeah.
games ever on Nintendo, man.
Throwing spears, man.
They have
Throwing
like
spears,
massive like
jumping
there's
around.
like speed runs for that game and all kinds of. Let me tell you, there was another game also that I found that was way ahead of its time on the Sega Genesis, and that was
By the way,
um,
the guy from Ghouls and Ghosts actually made a cameo in a Marvel versus Capcom.
no shit.
Yes, sir.
Flashback was
He would
the
come on and throw a whole bunch of
game.
spears at people. Flashback. Okay. I
Flashback
remember
was
that.
that sort of side-scrolling game, but it was like it put you in the middle of sort of like a Total Recall or not Total
Mm-hmm.
Recall. I forgot. Like, you basically were in the middle. It was like a virtual reality survival contestant game,
Yep.
but it was all like futuristic, and just the way you control the person was amazing. But there was a lot of great games, man, that we wound up playing through, man.
Oh,
I'm
for
gonna tell
sure,
you,
man.
when we decided that we wanted to narrow it down to our top 5, we knew it would be
It's very
almost
hard.
impossible. But
Impossible.
we managed to
I wanted
talk
to.
for
Yep.
an hour and
Or-
15 minutes.
Yep. Might be
Which
time
is-
to give it call it quiz. Is that what you're thinking?
We
I
might
could
be-
talk about this all night, dude.
I know.
You know,
we could go
I
on
could talk
for
about
hours.
Tetris. I could talk about all these other games, man. Oh my God, there's so many games that I've played.
So I could, yeah, I'll go. Let's do it. Let's
No,
go.
no.
Let's talk about a couple real quick. Another one of my favorites, PlayStation 2,
Oh,
K1
man.
World Grand Prix, one of the first mixed martial arts video games ever. It was
We even
by
touched
far.
Mortal Kombat.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
yeah, Tekken, those games. That game was amazing too. You want to talk about
Great.
fighting games? Street Fighter, Street Fighter 2. Come on, Gran Turismo. Oh my God, that game.
See,
Okay, that game had
You
like
act
the
like it.
largest menu of cars. It had you could play any freaking car you wanted. Oh my God, how is that so perfect? You never played that one?
I have mint condition copies of all my games that I've played.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so that's the actual
Yes.
gameplay disc.
Oh my goodness. It's still pretty well maintained.
Yeah.
Yeah, you take care of your stuff.
This was another video game, probably one of my favorites ever, Parasite
Oh, yeah.
Eve 2. I don't know why I never played Parasite Eve 1, but this was a Square Enix game, which
Yep.
they were basically known for.
I think
what
they
was
did
that?
Mass Effect too. Like
That-
story role playing games, kind of.
Yeah, I forget what the Final Fantasy.
Yeah,
There you go.
Final Fantasy. Yep.
So, oh shit, I've got a
Oh, what'd you do to
Walmart
it?
receipt in here.
Oh, well, how much you pay for that, dude? Or is that for something else?
$39.96 in the year 2000.
In the year 2000.
In the year 2000. Yeah, we did that. We just did that. Thank you, Conan. We love you.
Love you, Conan.
Did you
My
ever,
bad.
did you ever do this, Driver 2?
Oh yeah. I did the first one and the second one. Yep.
So if you guys don't remember the Driver 2 series, you'll look at this and you'll see
I think
this
that's
is
what they
sort
made
of
the movie, right? The Professional. I think.
yeah, it was sort
Or
of
something like it. Or Driver.
Driver
Maybe
2
it's called Driver.
this was by far one of the most frustrating games in the fucking world too, by the way.
Yeah.
But it was sort of like that spin-off of what we wanted a Grand Theft Auto really to sort of be. It sort of played on all of it. Reflections did it, and Infogrames. They were a pretty big studio back in the day as well.
Yeah.
What about this? I don't know. And the reason this jewel case is a little beat up, but what about that?
Oh, Metal Gear, bro. Metal Gear's solid, bro. I remember playing Metal Gear on Nintendo.
I have one of the blue disc copies too.
Oh man, classic, dude. Like I wasn't a PlayStation guy, but I remember people playing. That's like one of those games that you would only be able to play on the PlayStation, and you would have. And I would go over to my friend's house to play that game because I wouldn't buy the game, but I wouldn't buy a play. I was like anti PlayStation, like I said. And I'm like, hey, can I come over to play your house? He's like, why do you want to play my PlayStation if you don't even like PlayStation? Dude?
Yeah, dude.
Like,
because
shut
of
up
Metal Gear, dude. There was one
Absolutely.
exclusive for each system that made you want to buy it. PlayStation not only had Metal Gear, but they had Gran Turismo for a fucking while, dude.
Twisted Metal.
Yeah, I didn't love that game, but that
I
was
liked it.
Playing
online, blowing people up in in an ice cream truck. Come on, or a little dragon motorcycle dude.
Yeah, there was definitely a couple really badass elements to that game.
Oh yeah, that's another PlayStation
just didn't play it a lot.
And they let Marvel versus Capcom, the first one was on PlayStation. I played that too. on the PlayStation.
Modern Warfare was his first multiplayer, thanks to me, dude. You know what, Dirty
Hey,
Dave? You're damn right, man.
you take
We
it.
had
You're
a
glad.
lot of fun, man, playing back in the days, dude. Jesus, dude. Aaron says he had the 2600, 5200. Thank you so much. I forgot what the predecessor was in television and ColecoVision. So those two systems in television and ColecoVision, I think for me made a massive mark. The 2600, 5200, they had pretty much shit games, combat. You'd have all these really bad knockoffs. Even Pac-Man for the 2600 was shit. The dang, 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 dang,
Ladybug.
dang. Like the sounds were wrong. Everything was bad. But ColecoVision, Smurfs, or Smurf Escape from fucking Smurf Island. I don't know what the fuck.
I
That
didn't
was a
know.
great game. In television, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons was an amazing game. It had like a keypad. The controller was a keypad, and for different games, you could slide a card into it that had different meanings for the numbers. It was really cool, really innovative.
Do you
Then again,
remember the Neo Geo
yeah,
hologram game in the
yes,
arcades? Do you remember
yes,
that thing? Wasn't that a trip? And there was a cowboy, and you would like be fighting people in that hologram. That was reminded me of like Star Wars game, that Star Wars game that they had in the Millennium Falcon. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So yeah,
There
sorry,
was a
I'm
couple.
nerding
There was
out
a
right now.
couple. No, trust me, man. I'm telling you, that's what Ken Man's gonna probably look
I
back
hate
and go,
this show.
dude.
But
So
like,
you
oh,
guys,
thank God,
you
I
guys
wasn't
sat
a
there
part of
for a
that.
fucking hour and a half. What the hell did you talk about? Video games.
Yeah, they're out there.
We've
Yep.
only got 40 years of video games to go over right
Oh,
now.
easy, so easy to do it, man.
It was super easy,
Absolutely.
dude.
Yep.
Do you have
So easy to talk about
any
this.
other games that you
Oh
think
yeah,
you
yeah, I could, but I don't want to. But Dragon's Lair was another fun game. I remember it being a completely different way of playing it in the arcade. It was
you
like a
played
movie
that?
screen.
Did you do it well? Did you play
No,
it well?
but
Oh,
I
because I was gonna
tried.
say
I did all right though. I got
I
past
always
like
lost my 50 cents and it fucking sucked.
yeah. I saw somebody do it in front of me, and then I learned what I had to do, and I got like 7 to 8 levels, like, and nobody would get farther, and then I would get stuck on that one that I haven't figured out yet, and I never got past it. But I would get a crowd of people because they're like, I've never seen it get played this far. I'm like, yeah, I know. Just shut up and
Okay.
watch. Yeah, I was that nerd, But it was.
I think Jungle Hunt. I played that crazily in old school, and
do you remember the system?
Zaxxon.
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 I don't know what that is.
Zaxxon was the airplane game. It was one of the
I thought it was
first.
called
It was
Raiden.
on rails. I played that a lot. Tempest was another one of my favorite ones. Tempest was the one that had the dial on it, and you had that little thing.
Oh, that thing was so hard.
Yeah,
Like,
it was.
that
I
was a
loved
hard
those
one.
games, man. I don't know what it was about it, but
Yeah.
I had
The
enough
ball
of
games,
those.
I was never good at the ball games. Like not even the golf. I couldn't do the golf. I couldn't do the asteroid with the ball in the middle or the centipede. None of those games.
Wow.
I tried, and I was never good at those. But yeah, when it comes to video games, name them. I've done them. I like Rad Racer. I like the there's Metroid. What are you talking about?
Oh my god, dude,
You're-
Samus Aran. Yeah, I don't know how I left that off the list because let me tell you,
Oh,
I played that
a lot
game.
of Metroid.
Yeah, just that first one, dude, over
Yeah.
and over and over.
I made her
again,
get a bikini. I made her blue. I did I had it all. Freeze
That was
race.
a beautiful game. There was
Well
also
made.
something about the music too, the ambient
Mother
music
brain. Yeah.
that was just sort of like and it had you sort of like locked in the entire time, dude. A lot of those games are like you sort of
they
trance
talk
out on
about
that shit.
There's video games. The music. How many times have you heard the Super Mario song in something? It's one of those things that that music is embedded because we played it for so long that it's like chords that are into our soul.
It's true, man.
Yeah, and people are using that, man. It's a trip. But yeah, man. What games do you regret playing? Is there a game that you're like, oh man, I don't ever want to ever play this ever again?
Well, this is a great time for me to shit all over the Madden franchise right now. I would say any Madden past 2013 or 2012 was absolute shit. I will go as far as to say this game right here is the last good football game ever made, and it has absolutely nothing to do with Electronic Arts.
Really? 2K5 ESPN, huh?
2K5 by far, let me tell you, besides the gameplay of this game, which we all know is amazing, I always have to check Yep. There's always dude. I for some reason had a receipt for every one of these games, dude.
Nice.
Just in case. That's why I still can't get on board with physical copies. Holy shit!
How much you pay for that one?
This was only $3.
Hey-o.
$3 somewhere around 2005. So anyway,
Nice.
the point of that is this game was not only because it was ESPN. Not only was it a great football game, but what it would do was at the very middle of this game, as you can see right there in the screenshot, right home.
Oh man, I love that guy.
Chris Berman would come on and actually do a halftime show based on your statistics and replays
with his voice.
Game. It was actually him doing it. It was a video of him doing it. Boom! And then they would go to the video of your greatest plays of that half during that half. It was probably one of the best made football games ever. Go to YouTube. Go search NFL 2K5. The 2K series did a lot of great shit.
ESPN 2K5.
As soon as Electronic Arts bought the rights for the NFL, it was over for everyone. I know that we've got Madden up there, 2000. The PlayStation versions were cool because they're, they have, I don't know. I regret really getting into Madden. And here's the fun thing about it.
I regret it too, man. I played two seasons and never again.
My friend and I, Drunken Doomy, we were one of the first guys to start playing the 2 versus 2 stuff online. And this is before Madden Ultimate Team. I think it was 2013, might have had the first instance of this, where you could have one of your friends go online with you and play another 2 people somewhere else in Madden. And not fucking a best of team, an actual football team where one of us is quarterback and running back, or quarterback, wide receiver, another one is running back or something else. And you could block for each other and shit like that. Yeah. If you go back and look at it, and they realized it was such a success. So many people were trying to play this game one-on-one like that the next year they came out with Madden Ultimate Team in a very weird form. That if you've ever played these games, the very first version of Madden Ultimate Team was much different. When you bought these cards or you earned these cards, the players actually made your team better. It's not like that anymore. No. These players don't make your fucking team better at all, and really not very many different ways. But when they started monetizing Madden, that's when I should have known.
Yeah, I stopped. I stopped in 06. That was my last man, and I was just so tired of it playing online. People would do 800 audibles right at the line before they even say "hut." You're like, so annoying.
That was really the downfall of first-person shooters for me too. People, once you start running into more than 60% of the people trying to find an unfair advantage to win a game, that's when I got pissed off, because I was putting in so much. I put in so much work to be better as a legit gamer that all the people who don't do that are laughing at me like, well, dude, why don't you just cheat? Yeah, why don't you just fucking put this code in, or why don't you just do this or do that? That's just not the way I do things. Yeah, that's because I'm a gamer and I fucking, that's not how I did things. Dirty Dave says he'd love playing NFL 2K1 for Dreamcast, never gotten to Madden. Yeah.
Yep. Madden, I don't blame you. Sucked. Smarter man. Let me tell you, that's like, that's one of the games I wanted to poop on too, because we didn't talk about it. And honestly, people that are good at Madden, I just can't stand the game that every year is just monetized. They just, you want to keep playing it? You got to buy the new one. And why can't you just update it? Why can't you just change your rosters? It's ridiculous how they do it.
I'd pay $30. I'd pay $25 to $30 for a roster update for a game that worked every year. Yeah. I would have no fucking problem with that, dude. And they could go ahead and micro hit me all they want after that if they wanted. It won't work. I'm just saying, if they just did that and gave me a good game, a good skeleton game that they kept adding on to, because that's basically all they're doing now anyway. But they're making us pay $60, and motherfuckers every year are doing it, man.
Yeah, it's dumb. I would say they should make a $5 subscription, part of EA or something, and you could play Madden and another couple more games, and that should be fair. But no, they're just money hungry, man. It's tough. It's tough in society today, man. They're always trying to kill the little man.
You know what, guys? I want to thank each and every one of you who stuck around with us for this whole entire hour and a half we've been waxing about the video games industry from beginning to end. We didn't even talk about how we've been screwed by the industry, how the industry has basically turned into the giant juggernaut that it is right now, that's eating all of our dollars and rarely putting out good content.
When DLC started becoming a thing.
Right. And I'm sitting, I've got an Xbox Series X that I should have 10 amazing games for, but I'm playing Xbox One games on it still.
Aaron, nice talking, man. Thanks for being here.
Everybody is just thank you so much for Aaron, thanks for coming and hanging out. Everybody who did come and hang out.
Thanks
Andrew,
for everybody hanging out, man.
thank you for the fucking memories since day one, my brother. Thanks for coming and hanging out tonight, Ron. Thank you for everyone who
Aaron Bailey, D&D was badass, man. I'm with you.
It was. Those were good times, man.
Thanks for coming out in your comments. I appreciate it.
For real. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all have a good night. We'll be back next week, maybe with Ken Man, maybe not. I think everyone should really throw some love Hash Brown's way. He did a great job tonight. Have a great night. Do what makes you happy. Keep growing, all that good shit. And we'll see you next week on the Casually Serious Podcast.